All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Tuesday, October 1st, 2019. Let's talk about Monday Night Football last night. Swaggy C in the chat did make a good observation yesterday during the live stream. He looked at something I'd actually never considered before, and I'm definitely going to start considering it now. He pointed out that if the GM won yesterday for the Steelers, he'd get his 213th win. And Monday Night Football equals 213. And the Steelers did win, and he did get his 213th win. And, I don't know why I'd never considered to look at GMs before, but we did point that out in the live stream. It was a narrative that was there. We discussed yesterday how, if the Steelers did win, I wasn't going to be shocked. There was plenty there. Prior to doing more, again, maybe overanalyzing, my first thought was that the Steelers looked like they were good to go because they were going to become 5-1 at home against Cincinnati. Cincinnati equals 51. You had 51 date numerology. Mason could lead the Steelers to their 17th straight home win on Monday Night Football. Mason equals 17. I knew at halftime it was over. Even though they were doing the halftime ceremony, I just knew it was over when I saw the halftime stats because Mason had 17 completions on dink and dunk passes. He was 17 for 18, and Dalton had 17 attempts. And you could just tell that, the Bengals couldn't score. What was it? 1st and 10 at the beginning of the game after the fumble. They couldn't score there, and then they drive right down the field, and then the rehearsed sack fumble. I mean, they got to feed that Steelers fan base. They are the biggest fan base in the nation, so the score was 10-3 at halftime, like we talked about prior to the game. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 103. Steelers, 103. September, 103. First note was Steelers could finish September 1-3 as they did. Should have just left it right there. So, this was a tough game. One of the things that looked really good for the Bengals was that it was Dalton's 337th day of his age, which is the 68th prime number, and he was going for his 68th win of his career. And this is just what's happened to primetime football in the last, 2 seasons. The riddles have gotten super tight. What are the odds that the game's on Dalton's 337th day of his age, and that's the 68th prime, and he can get his 68th win, and he doesn't get it? You know what I mean? So we talked about yesterday. We said this wasn't a one-way street. This wasn't like the Cleveland Browns riddle. This is, more of a playing with fire type of one. I did end up leaning Bengals ultimately because of the symbolism of staying on 16 consecutive wins. But still, like we talked about, Pittsburgh 59, the 17th prime, Mason 17. When I saw those 17 stats with the QBs at halftime, and just in case you didn't see what I put out last night, show it to you again. Here's the halftime stats. But yeah, I got to admit, primetime football is really pissing me off, man. Because I don't like getting things wrong, and I don't like leaning the wrong way. And I'm doing it a whole heck of a lot on primetime football. Primetime football. So yeah, you get your 10-3 score at halftime. And here was the QB stats at halftime. Dalton, 17 attempts. Rudolph, 17 completions. So... And also, something else to call attention to is they talked a lot last night about how the only team to ever start 0-4 and go to the playoffs was the 92 Chargers. The halftime show, you had Snoop Dogg wearing the 19 jersey for Juju. And I was thinking about that, too, because it's Rosh Hashanah, Juju, Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, who runs the show. Anyway, and then so it was Snoop Dogg wearing 19 and whoever this guy is, number 92. Remember, yesterday left 92 days left in the year, and all throughout the game, they kept bringing up the 92 Chargers. And does that mean the Bengals are going to recover and become the second team to make the playoffs, or are they talking about the Chargers? Because, again, the Chargers got some special connections this year. So if you watched last night's game, the Chargers, that was a talking point they brought up multiple times throughout the game. The only 0-4 team to make the playoffs. On the day leaving 92 days left in the year. And what was the final score of last night's game? Was it 27-3 on the 273rd day of the year? The stuff's just a joke. But anyway, the big takeaway is going to start looking at the GMs, see if they see just how often the alignments come through for the GMs. So last night's Steelers GM got the 213th win. Monday Night Football 2-1-3. We saw how the game was 2 months and 13 days after Mason Rudolph's birthday. But, yeah. Hold on, we got a caller here. Caller?
Yeah, Zach.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, earlier in the season, you were talking about Indian connection with NFL. I forget what that was.
Yeah, it was the riddle from last season. So it was the riddle from last season because it was the 99th NFL season and the United States of America equals 99. And before the season even began, I assumed there'd be some sort of genocide theme, which came true. On Christopher Columbus Day, they had the genocide rituals in baseball and on Monday Night Football. 62 combined points in the Saints-Redskins game. Genocide equals 62. The Braves got eliminated from the playoffs with a score of 62 that day. The Indians also got eliminated by the Astros. So again, 99th NFL season, the United States of America 99. The games are often rigged tributes to history. And then the way the AFC Championship was a span of 99 days from the regular season match between the Chiefs and the Patriots. It was in Arrowhead Stadium, which is the Chiefs' home field, like the Native American home. Arrowhead Stadium's 99, Patrick Mahomes Jr.'s 99. Tom Brady got his 99th career away win in that game. So that was the native genocide ritual. And then we just saw with, speaking of, might be a crossover between baseball and football this year, we just saw what they did with the Cleveland Indians and the Washington Nationals on September 27th. So I was thinking if maybe this year the next evolution of history might be Cowboys and Indians type of riddle. So those are the thoughts.
What about as far as the Patriots doing all this 9/11 stuff? Like tributes, do you think that will play out like in the Super Bowl? Or I mean, it's just kind of weird how they're doing all that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It's definitely something to consider. So, I mean, the Patriots definitely have a shot at the Super Bowl. There's a perfect alignment with Robert Kraft and the Super Bowl date. So, yeah, there's still some more to figure out, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, I'm not just saying as far as the Patriots, but how they line that up was, the Jets and Washington and New York, and I don't know. It's just that's got me wondering too.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's obvious that it's a ritual and a tribute, but that's what I mean. They pay tribute to history, season after season if you pay attention. So, yeah, there's more to think about with that.
Yeah, because another interesting, when the Colts played the Saints in 2010, this coming Super Bowl will be 9 years, 11 months. That's why I thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah, that's a good observation. Okay. All
right, buddy, I'll let you get back to it.
All right, man. Thanks.
Bye.
See you. Okay, so I don't really have anything else to say about Monday Night Football. There was a riddle there for the Steelers. I mean, I did say it yesterday. If the Steelers win, I'm not going to be shocked. But I thought all things being equal, the fact that they had the game on Dalton's 337th day of his age, the 68th prime, and he could get his 68th win, thought that might be the tiebreaker there. So it wasn't. They were the Bungles. And caller?
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, that was the Bengals game last night was their 811th game all time.
811, huh?
Yeah.
That reminds me that, I should have caught that. That reminds me it was 50 days after the death of Darryl Drake on 8/11, the Steelers wide receiver coach, and Pittsburgh and Steelers both equal 50.
50. Oh, and they had that one, I can't remember which quarterback, one of them got 229 yards, too.
It was probably Mason Rudolph, 50th prime.
And the 273, I was going to throw some of these merger stats at you. They really pointed to the Bengals. The Bengals went in with a away record of 139 to 242. They could have got their 140th win. Pittsburgh's 140. And Steelers went in with a home record of 273 to 107. They could have got their 108th loss. Pittsburgh Steelers is 108. But I'm just wondering if double Gematria weighs more because Pittsburgh Steelers is 243 ordinal and reverse ordinal, and the Bengals got their 243rd away loss since the merger.
And Darryl Drake died 243 days after his birthday too. So
that was the Steelers coach again, wasn't it? Yeah.
On 8/11.
I was working all weekend, so I didn't get a chance to call in. But the last thing I wanted to mention, you talk about the 16. Revelation 16:16 is his 273rd verse. It talks about Armageddon.
Huh.
And like I said, the Steelers went into the game with 273 home wins. So you thought that's another reason that you thought they might that maybe they would have lost and stayed on 273.
Instead, you get a score of 27-3. So.
Yeah. And I guess the last thing to mention on Dalton, he got his 54th loss. The Bengals went in with 54 points. And I just wanted to run over those merger stats real quick and throw out that Revelation reference.
Yeah, good work, Bobby. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, see.
All right, take care, man. See you. Okay, so there's nothing more to say about Monday Night Football. It was another tight primetime script. Oh, something I do want. Speaking of primetime, that reminded me. I was thinking about what is it about all the backups this year. And backup with the alphabetic order is 54. So, I don't think that's an accident. When you write out 100, it's 54. And it was the 100th game last night. And for my man out there in Nevada, I apologize. He called me and he said, "Are you sure there's not any 54s on the board tonight?" And I overlooked that Dalton could get his 54th regular season loss. Somehow my eyes overlooked that. So Dalton did pick up his 54th regular season loss in the 100th meeting between the two teams. And that was the other thing we pointed out, is that if you just write 100, which is another way to put it, it equals 34. The Steelers got their 34th loss in Pittsburgh last night. Caller?
How you doing, Zach?
Doing all right, man. How are you?
Yeah, man. You doing good, man. It just mean it can't be perfect all the time. You know, you real good though, man. You know what I'm saying? You all right, man.
Well, I appreciate that, but I always want to be better than I am. I'll put it that way. So.
Hey, Zach, the last few weeks, I've been, real busy, all that other stuff. When are you going to do the straight NFL picks, what day exactly you going to do it? The NFL picks.
Well, what we've been doing is doing a Tuesday night live stream, which we're going to do again tonight. And just looking at what we're anticipating. And then on Saturday, we've been doing the live stream, finalizing everything. So that's what we've been doing each week.
You going to do college this week? Or no, it's too much on you?
Well, if I have the time, just like I put out picks Friday night, I hope you took advantage of Friday night's picks. They were great. And then we did some games Saturday. So, yeah, just anytime I get the extra time, I will. It's getting busy again, though, because I'm working on the hockey packet right now, the NBA packet, because all the sports things are starting.
You do all that?
Yeah, there's tons to keep up with, man. So, again, that's why I teach you guys, too, so you can keep up with all the stuff that I can't keep up with.
Yeah, what you say you be on tonight? What day be tonight? What day be on tonight?
I don't think there's any games on tonight besides the MLB wildcard game for the National League.
Oh, no. You say you going to come on tonight for discussion night, right? Discussion, right? For
Yeah.
NFL?
NFL Week 5, yep. We'll be
what day coming on?
I'm planning to do that at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern.
Okay, no problem. I just wondering. No problem, sir. Thank you. You answered my question. You okay, sir?
All right. All right. I'll see you then. You take care, friend.
All right,
see you. Okay. All right. I just missed a couple calls during that. You guys are welcome to call back. Sorry, the line was plugged up. So what I want to talk about is the NL wildcard game, and I got to admit I'm not crazy about this game. Last year, our wildcard games were straight shooters. This one looks a little tight here, this NL wildcard game. So notice the start time is 5:08 p.m. And they love to do this with the playoff games, start them at funky times that usually connect to one team. Hold on, we got a call here. caller?
Yo, Zach, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, I noticed every fucking month you lose a few subscribers when the month rolls over.
Well, it's because they don't check the box. So everybody who doesn't check the box gets unsubscribed.
Why would a company fucking do that? You got to ask the question. Why? Because if I signed up for ESPN or any of this bullshit, right? They're not going to do that where I got to go in every month and check a box. They're just going to keep fucking charging me.
Well, everybody who did check the box when they signed up, they don't have that problem. That's why I'm always reminding people, if you don't check the box, you're going to get unsubscribed. So
yeah, I've never had that problem, but I went into your thing today because you always keep it out there front and center. You don't hide anything. And I saw where you lost, I don't know, it looked like a couple hundred subscribers or something.
Well, it'll keep going down. It goes down. It'll go down. Through the end of the day, it continues to go down. I don't know. It's not like they all drop off at once. It's like they're just continually. I don't know exactly how it works, but you'll just watch every day on the first. It'll keep counting down throughout the day, and then eventually they'll come back. So
what a joke, man. No, I had a couple of observations. Well, one thing is last night when I saw that 213. I was thinking about your caller that talked about the GM and Monday Night Football equals 213. And early in the first half, they showed a picture of this Mason, number 2 next to, I guess it's receiver number 13.
Right.
Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did. And well, the other thing was in that picture that you sent, to his left is number 6, right? 6'2".
Yeah, what's that mean?
Mason equals 62.
Oh, gotcha. I was wondering if that was just an accident. It's like, why is that guy in the fucking picture?
Yeah. That's what.
So you there for a reason.
They did, man. They did, and yeah. Even though halftime ceremonies usually doom teams, once I saw the box score with the 17s, I was like, nah, they're getting this 17th win.
This is a deep riddle, man, and I have to be honest. The guy that calls in from New York, this John guy, talking about the Chargers. I'll tell you what, man, I'm feeling the Chargers. People can say what they want about it, but this riddle, it seems like a lot of these primetime games I'm noticing they're connected to Drew Brees or the Chargers. Last night it was all about 17. And if you go look at Phillip Rivers, right now he's 3-4 all-time in playoffs. It seems like to me if they got in as a wild card, every game would be symbolic. A win for Phillip Rivers if they make the playoffs. His first one he becomes 4-4. We know where that connects. Maybe they play the Colts, which would make a lot of sense in the first round, and then they could become 5-4. You get your Super Bowl number. Then if they won to get to the Super Bowl, it would be 6-4. Rivers equals 64. When you write out 17, it equals 64. And the rest, the 74 number, if they actually won the Super Bowl. And we know how they like to connect 74 and 33, right, Zach?
That's true. They didn't do it last night for us in
we know
MNF.
what day the Super Bowl's on.
Well, San Diego equals 74. It could even be a tribute to San Diego, the old home of the
It equals 47, too, I think.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I thought it was interesting how they kept bringing up the 92 Chargers last night in light of it being the day leaving 92 days left in the year. The other thing I noticed, shout out to Michael in New York, another New York caller, is that he pointed out that how old the Jesuits turned this year. The Jesuits, whatever year it is, I forget, it's the 92nd prime number, and I know Phillip Rivers is Catholic, so...
Yeah, right. He's one of these Roman Catholics.
Right, so he's probably Jesuit as well, and I was like, okay, so there's a Jesuit connection to 92 this year as well. That's interesting.
Yeah, this whole thing with this kid having his 9th child, none of this shit's by accident. Everything's 9999. Connecting to him and also. And what was the caller that just called in? Did he say that was the Bengals like a 811th game as a franchise or something?
It was.
Let's go back to August 11th. I think
that was the day the Steelers coach died.
Oh, he died on August 11th, the Steelers coach?
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday because he died 50. Yesterday's game was 50 days after his death, and Steelers equals 50, and so does Pittsburgh.
I didn't even know about that death.
Daryl Drake.
If you go back to August 11th, I think the Chargers, didn't they play the Chiefs on August 11th? In the preseason.
I'm going to have to look.
If you look at that day, take August 11th to 2-2. Can you do that right now? Can you put it in your calculator?
Oh, measure from August 11th to
August. From August 11th to the Super Bowl. We know how this date's connected to everything.
Hold on. I'm just trying to see. It looks like actually the Bengals and Chiefs might have played each other. Well, it says
Who did
August
Chargers
10th.
play that day? I know they played somebody.
Hold on. NFL box scores. Hold on. I gotta pull it up here. August 11th. I'm pretty sure it would be 175 days after, though, because August 11th leaves 142 days left in the year, so then plus 33 into the next year, so it should be 175 days after.
It is 175 or a span of 166. I looked at it last night. But if you look at the other numbers on there, look, it's a span of 5 months, 23 days. You notice that?
Oh, did you say 5 months and 23 days?
Look how they're putting that in our face, man. We just saw that in the last primetime game on Monday night. They keep putting the 5 and 2-3, which all connects back to Donald, who took out Drew Brees. He's got the 5-2-3 birthday, number 99. You know, the whole holdout 99 days and all that shit.
Right.
It's all connected, and then it's also 25. What is it? It's also 25. 25 is in that date too, in that date duration, and it's been 25 years, Zach, since the Chargers have been in the Super Bowl.
Huh?
So
Interesting.
The Chargers. That's why, you know, this stuff with Breeze. This is all connected, man.
Sure.
It's gotta be.
Well, if it's all about Breeze, I mean, the most in-your-face riddle would be having him play the Chargers, which is possible. Just so you know, nobody played on August 11th this year. There were games on August 10th, August 9th, and August 8th, though. Yeah. So.
I don't know. I guess I looked at that wrong. I thought they did play on that day. But it's still, to me, it's still a relevant date because, you know, that's the date we're looking at all year, and it's connected to everything. I don't think any of that's an accident, the way that lines up, man.
Yeah.
And stuff we've been looking at. There's a lot to this.
Yeah.
There's a ton to it.
Yeah, this year is definitely a lot more complicated year than the last few seasons. So
it's a deep riddle, and you know, I think they want most of it to, you know, ride KC or New England. To me, it's 3 teams in the AFC. It's one of those 3. So it's Chargers, Chiefs, or Patriots. I think it's one of those 3. I don't think it can be anybody else. And why do they seem to be like, you know, knocking all these people and these quarterbacks out for something?
Backup.
They're doing that for a reason.
Backup equals 54. That's what they're doing.
You see that last night? So last night, which is funny, it was the second time since the merger. If you take out the 80s where they had the scabs, don't count the scabs. It was the second time since the merger that 5 backup quarterbacks won who didn't start in week 1. And they went 5-1 on Sunday, the week in September. It's only the second time since the merger has happened. They went 5-1, just like the Steelers went 5-1 last night with this Mason, this backup guy, right? They went 5-1, just like Cincinnati's 51. So it's all tied together. And we were talking about that the other day. I'm like, these backups got to be in this riddle. Why is these backups having all these lights out games? You know?
Right. I got to look up that stat you just said about 5-1 and think about that. So.
Well, I was trying to think about it last night because I'm like, well, that's obviously connected to the riddle. I knew how it was connected to Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, but there's a deeper riddle behind that 5-1 because we know those 2 teams they're not going anywhere. They're just connected to the riddle. But they keep connecting, it seems like, to the Chargers or the Saints in these primetime games. If you go back and look at every one of them, you can see how they're all coded. And most of the coding seems to be with those 2 teams. That's from what I'm seeing.
Yeah. I realized that backup equals 54 because I was thinking about that last night.
That's interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering if one of them is destined for the Super Bowl. So.
Yeah, that could very well, and that could be the whole Bridgewater thing, right?
Absolutely, the year of the black quarterback.
What was it the year that the quarterback for the Colts, longtime legend, there's a Super Bowl he was in. He didn't even play. Johnny Unitas.
Right. Yeah, that'd be something to go
Maybe
back and
there's
look
some
at.
deeper riddle to that. Luck's not there anymore. Maybe they get in the playoffs. Maybe they play, the Chargers in the first round, the wild card game.
That's the interesting thing about Brissett. I don't think it's going to be the Colts at this point, but Brissett, the Super Bowl is on his 54th day of his age.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't see the Colts, and I just see them as a part of the riddle. Mm-hmm. Chargers, that's a horse, like a colt. It's all connected to this horse shit.
Mm-hmm. Right. It is horse shit, man.
All right, man. Well, you do great work as always, but goddamn, these fucking primetime games, they're just these riddles, like the whole Mason thing. I mean, if I would have looked at the damn backup quarterback maybe further, I would have been like, oh, there it is. Because it's just all tied to these backups. Well, they couldn't stop talking about that kid the whole game. That's all they kept. They're showing his family, and then they were for sure to show you that his brother has his football jersey on, and it was number 54, like backup 54, like you just said.
Yeah, I just think about how I used to do this a few years ago, because I never did an analysis like we did yesterday. I never dug up that much information or stuff. I just kept things usually surface level, and I'm just thinking about the old me 3 or 4 years ago, probably would have just said, you know what? I would have just said Mason 17, going for the 17th straight home win. That's probably all I would have thought about. So
Exactly. And the funny thing you say that is, I've had a lot of success the last 3 or 4 weeks. I've been documenting these UFC fights, and right on the surface, they're just so easy. Not all of them are going to line up, but there's probably 3 to 4 every night that are just so surface level. It's like, oh, the guy's name lines up with the opponent getting their loss or their win, and just about every one of them, 80 to 90% of them probably come through. And that's just all surface riddle. I'm not even looking at birthdays or anything. Just names and record.
Yeah. A lot of times it is just surface level, so I know that's what I've done in the last year. I've just gotten into this deeper analysis, and it takes a lot of time, and I'm not actually sure it's all that helpful. So,
and I'm starting to think that too, man. I think maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Maybe it's not so much that they're doing anything different. It's just we're trying to be so perfect with it that it's kind of hurting us, not helping us.
Overanalyzing. Yeah,
overdoing it.
But
it's
still, the other part of me is just going, but, I mean, I also feel like 3 years ago, there was never a game where it lined up where it was like the quarterback's 337th day of his age, the 68th prime, and he didn't win. I feel like those were also the gimmies. So.
I know. Yeah, right.
So, yeah. All right, man.
Well, thanks, Jack.
All right. Yeah, see you.
See you.
Okay. Yeah, because, I mean, that was the one thing about Dalton yesterday. It was his 337th day of his age, which is the 68th prime, and he did not get his 68th win, which it looked like he might. All right, so let's talk about this NL wildcard game. On the surface, just looking at these two teams, if there was one that made more sense to go into LA based on their record and even their team name, on the surface, it looks like the Brewers. They come into the wild card 89-73. Los Angeles Dodgers equals 89-73. Whoever wins this game is going to play the Dodgers. Hold on, we got another call here. Caller?
You were looking at the wrong preseason on your computer. The Saints played the Chargers on 8/11.
Oh, is this isn't 2019?
That was the wrong year.
Why would it pull up a different year?
I think so, because the Saints played the Chargers on 8/11. A span of 175 days, or including 176. That's 5 months and 23 days, 523, or 225 weeks in 1 day, like 251, 54th prime.
All right, why is it pulling up? Why am I searching this year 2019 and it's pulling up a different year then?
I don't know, but they played the Saints and the Chargers. The score was 19-17.
All right, hold on.
And of course, the TD Pope guy had a big 81-yard punt return in that game.
Hold on. All right. Looks like no, Vikings Saints played August 10th, 2019.
Oh, they did not. The week 2,
Chargers played the Saints, and it was 19-17.
Well, I don't know why it's pulling this up every single time I do it.
Well, I don't know what you're looking at, but they played.
I got it right here.
They played August 18th. Yeah, August 18th.
Okay, so I don't have the wrong date. Okay, I was like, what?
August 18th.
Yeah, okay.
So the August 11th was a 100. So I guess that's the wrong day. I thought it was August 11th. So I guess it's August 18th, 818. All right, I guess I messed that up. But the guy that called in made an observation of this 5-1. If you add all the numbers of the quarterbacks who won, it equals 37. LA's 37, Los Angeles 37, and Rivers is 37. And the only quarterback that didn't win faced the Chargers.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
So Bridgewater against if the backups are, I said it last week when I called. Look at his backups, but if the backups are in the riddle, then Bridgewater would get there. He doesn't have to be starting per se, but he could be there. And then Rivers is the only one that beat the backup, the only one that didn't win on 2-2.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess I messed that. You start looking at these numbers so much, you get things mixed up, right?
Right. Yeah.
All right, man.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
Later.
All right, see you. Okay, so this NL wildcard game, the Brewers, they're 89-73 coming into it. Los Angeles Dodgers is 89-73. Milwaukee Brewers is also 73. They're 40-41 away. If they won, and this game that's going to be played today is 41 days after Craig Counsell's birthday, the manager of the Brewers. If the Brewers win, they'll be 41-41 away, and then they'd be on their way to LA, the land of 41. So on the surface, that really jumps out. Now the Nationals' riddle is their next home win is 51, and 51, this is the Brewers and the Nationals' 51st season. The Nationals just had that really special ritual with Skull and Bones and Geronimo. Caller?
Hey, Shaq.
Hey.
For the last night game, the start time was 8:15, and Mike Tomlin improved to 14-2. So the 14, 8 plus 1 plus 5, 8:15. The start time 14. He improved to 14-2 on Monday nights.
14-2 on Monday night?
Yes, his record.
Oh, and how does that go with the start time at 8:15?
Yes, for the Monday Night Football.
But how does the start time at 8:15 connect to him being 14-2?
Well, you add up, all the 8 plus 1 plus 5.
Oh, I see. 14. He got his 14th win. Gotcha. Okay.
All right. Another thing is something you might have to take a look. These rookie coaches. I mean, the only good record that we were talking about is the LaFleur.
Packers.
Matt
right.
LaFleur. He's the only. And then last night actually is something weird. The last night the new coach for the Bengals, his name is Zach Taylor. Kind of same like your name, but instead he spells his name Z-A-C.
Right.
Kind of like a 3-letter, name. And one last thing. One rule I have for everybody who bets is stay away from when there's 2 teams, 0-3 teams. Stay away. That's one rule I have. Never bet on teams that have 0-3, 2 records. I mean, it can get messy. So it's hard to trust anyone. And one thing is also we might have another rookie coach. The Washington Redskins. He's in the hot seat. Gruden, his Oakland Raiders brother.
Exactly, and that could be a trade-off for his brother. So
something to look for. That's all I got.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, Izzy.
All
right, same
bye.
Okay, coming back to this wild card game. So the Brewers look like they have the better numbers to face Los Angeles. And let's not forget that Milwaukee equals 53, so does Los Angeles. Last year, that was the NLCS, the winner of which was going to face the Boston Red Sox, which equaled 53. So, Let me go through. There's other notes here. In light of this being the year of the 115th World Series, the team that has the 115 connection is the Brewers. They play in Miller Park, which equals 115. They did lose their star player. Prior to the All-Star break, we thought the Brewers had a great shot because they had the right ballpark and their star player, Christian Yelich. His full name, I forget what his middle name is. Let me pull it up real quick. But Christian Yelich, his full name, Steven. His full name is 115. Now, obviously, he's not going to be here because he's out for the season. He got injured 83 days before Aaron Rodgers' upcoming birthday, which is interesting because Yelich is 100, like it's the 100th NFL season. Milwaukee's 100. Again, 83 days before Rodgers' birthday. Football's 83. So there might be a ritual there. Trade-off, one star player suffers, maybe another benefits. But the Brewers do have the 115 connection. So it could be symbolic to see games played in their ballpark in these playoffs. The Brewers are going to have to beat the Nationals, though, to face the Dodgers for that to happen. The date numerology of today's game is 50. Washington equals 50, and they're on 50 home wins. Do they pick up that 51st home win in the 51st season for them and the Brewers, or do they stay on 50, a symbolic number to Washington? Now, the 23-date numerology plays against both teams, which is what makes this tough. We have 23-date numerology as well. All right, we'll come up on the 23s. This is going to be the 153rd game between both teams. The Nationals are 72 and 80. Or, in case I just misspoke, this is going to be the 153rd game between the Nationals and Brewers all time. They've never met in the postseason before. The Nationals are 72 and 80 versus the Brewers. If they won, they would get that 73rd. Milwaukee Brewers is 73. They'd go on to face the Los Angeles Dodgers, 73. Keep in mind the Nationals are considerable favorites for this game. The Nationals are 42 and 32 at home versus the Brew Crew. Nationals has that gematria of 33 and 42. If they lost, they'd be 42 and 33 at home. The Nationals are 2 and 4 versus the Brewers this season. 2 and 1 at home. Nationals Park does equal 52. If the Brewers won, they would become 5 and 2 against the Nationals, and they would do it in Nationals Park 52. The Brewers all-time in the postseason are 20 and 22. If they lost today, they would get their 23rd loss on a 23-date numerology. Possible. The Nationals are 12 and 17 in the postseason. If they won today, they would get their 13th win. M's the 13th letter. We know the Brewers wear the M on their cap. Again, this is the first postseason game versus the two teams. The pitchers for the Brewers, they have number 53. Remember, Milwaukee equals 53. Los Angeles equals 53. I guess I should have wrote, or I did write it here. I just didn't write it out for Milwaukee. Okay, so number 53, Woodruff's on the mound. He's 26 years old right now. The game's on October 1st, 10/1, like 101, the 26th prime. Again, he wears 53, number that connects Milwaukee and Los Angeles. The winner of this game goes on to face the Dodgers. The game is 233 days after his birthday. That's the 13th Fibonacci number. Where's the M on the cap? M's 13. LA's also 13. However, 233 is also the 51st prime, and remember, the Nationals are going for their 51st home win. Both teams, it's their 51st season. Woodruff is 11 and 3 for the season. If he lost, he would be 11 and 4. Scherzer, who he faces, does equal 114. Woodruff is 16 and 6 for his career. He's 6 and 3 away. If he got the win, he'd be 7 and 3 away. Milwaukee Brewers is 73, so is Los Angeles Dodgers. Woodruff's 2-0 versus the Nationals. He has 2 starts with a sub-1 ERA. He's 0.96. Woodruff's 1-1 in the postseason with a 1.93 ERA. He has 4 games, 1 start. What else stands out about Brandon Woodruff is his name also sums to 77, the big number in DC. For the Nationals, number 31's on the mound, Max Scherzer. He's 35 years old. The game's 66 days after his birthday or his 67th day of his age. I guess I should note that 67 is the 19th prime, since we are talking about the 2019 baseball season. But 66, remember what that number is. It's the 11th triangular number. If you had 1 through 11, it equals 66. He wears the number 31. That's the 11th prime. Scherzer's on 11 wins for the season. He's 11-7 for the season. It's tricky because if he won, he'd get his 12th win. Milwaukee's 37, the 12th prime. It's Scherzer's 12th season as well. He could pick up his 12th win in his 12th season. If he lost, however, he'd be 11-8. Wisconsin's 118. And Los Angeles, California is also 118. Again, whoever wins is on their way to Los Angeles. Scherzer's 170-89 for his career. If he didn't lose, he'd stay on those 89 losses, and he'd advance to play the Dodgers. Los Angeles Dodgers is 89. If Scherzer lost, he would be 2-3 versus the Brewers. Remember, we have the 23 date numerology. Scherzer is also 33-22 pitching in Washington. So he could get his 23rd loss pitching in Washington on the 23 date numerology as well. So the 23 could go against him in two ways. Scherzer is 4-5 in the postseason. Milwaukee equals 46 if he fell to 4-6, but Wisconsin's also 55. Hold on. Let me take this call real quick. Caller?
Hey, Zach. How's it going?
Is it going all right, man? What's up?
Hey, just in the baseball right now, but for the game last night, Pittsburgh, Mason had 220 yards.
Your call broke up. Hold on. What did you just say?
I said regarding the Pittsburgh Bengals game last night.
Right.
Mason Rudolph had 229 passing yards.
Right. Yep. And Pittsburgh and Steelers are 50. Yes, he did.
Also, when I signed up for your Patreon, I think it charged me twice, like $5 once and then $5 again.
Well, what it does, if you don't sign up at the first of the month, it'll always charge you on the first. So if you sign up in the middle of the month, it'll charge you when you sign up, and then from that day on, it'll always charge you on the first of the month. So it'll just charge you one time a month. That's the way they have it set up. There's no way to control it. It's just what Patreon does.
Month just charge me once a month, right?
It'll only charge you once a month now. It'll always charge you on the first. That's how it's set up to work.
Okay, so here from here on out, it should only charge me
on the first. As long as you keep that box checked, it'll only charge you on the first, right?
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Thanks, man.
All right, thanks, Michael. Take care, man.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, see you.
Bye.
Yeah, I don't like the way Patreon does things. That's also part of the reason I'm going to build the website and migrate people over there, because I hate how people get unsubscribed on the first of the month, and yeah, just the billing's confusing. I feel the way it should operate is if you sign up on the 15th, then it should just always bill you on the 15th. I mean, that seems like the way it should do it, but Patreon's not my platform. Anyone can sign up for it. It just does things the way it does. Anyway, the Council. What's really interesting about this game, and to me this is maybe the standout stat above all the stats we've looked at, is that Council, the manager of the Brewers, the game is 41 days after his birthday. And again, I don't believe he ever had a career playing for the Dodgers. Let's go back and look at his player days. I don't think he ever played for the Dodgers. Yeah, he played for Milwaukee, Arizona. Oh, wait, I take it back. He did play for the Dodgers one year, 99. So 20 years ago he played for the Dodgers. Interesting. Florida, Colorado. Well, Council did play for... Okay, I'm going to add that to the note. Council played for the Dodgers in 1999. Hey, while we're at it, who did Dave Martinez play for? Did he play? Cubs, Montreal. So he played for the old Nationals team because the Nationals used to be the Montreal Expos. Cincinnati, San Francisco, White Sox. He did not play for the Dodgers. Atlanta, Toronto. But when I was just going through, digging up everything, what really stood out to me is that this game's 41 days after Craig Counsell's birthday. And again, if his team wins, they'll be 41-41 away. They'd be on to play LA 41. So Martinez, the manager of the Nationals, he's 175 and 149. We documented that 149 skull and bones ritual real well. If he got the win today, he would get 176. The starting pitcher for the Brewers, Brandon Woodruff, his name does equal 176. Game's 5 days after his birthday, so not as interesting of an alignment, in my opinion. I looked at the records for the Nationals and the Brewers versus the Dodgers to see if there was anything that screamed out there. The Dodgers are 83-61 versus the Brewers, and for the next playoff series, remember it's a 3-game or not a 3-game series. It's a 5-game series, so the first team to win 3 games. So if the Dodgers advanced over the Brewers, they'd get to 86 wins. If they lost to the Brewers, they'd get to 64 losses. If they played the Nationals, actually, hold on, I take it back. That's These are the regular season stats. These are the postseason stats. The Dodgers versus these teams. So, actually, what I should have done is I should have combined the postseason records and the regular season records. Okay, so the Dodgers are 83-61 versus the Brewers in the regular season, and in the postseason, they're 4-3 versus the Brewers. If the Dodgers swept the Brewers, they'd be 7-3, which connects to both teams because Los Angeles Dodgers is 73 and Milwaukee Brewers is 73. So there could be some rhyme and reason with that. You could also make an argument that if the Dodgers faced the Nationals and swept them, there'd also be a little... It wouldn't be the overlap with both teams, but if the Dodgers swept the Nationals, they'd be 9-4 versus the Nationals. Nationals would be 4-9 versus the Dodgers in the postseason. Washington's 49. But again, it doesn't mean it's going to go that way. I'm just looking for synchronicities that, would line up with the numbers of the teams. So... But the Dodgers were 4-3 versus the Brewers this year, and they were also 4-3 versus Washington this year for the season. 4-3 against both teams. Dodgers played better at home versus the Nationals than the Brewers. I think about that. 289. Think about something real quick. That's not prime. 387. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach? Can you jump?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, I was looking at that Nationals game with the Brewers, and I think the Nationals are going to take that game. What I'm seeing is that the Brewers can pick up their 42nd away loss, and 42 equals DC.
Sure, Nationals has the 42 connection as well. Possible.
Say again?
Nationals equals 42, so does DC. They both are 42.
Yeah, and the Brewers can get their 42nd away loss.
Right. That is possible, but whoever wins is going on to play LA, and LA equals 41.
And I'm thinking the Brewers are going to lose because then, they have 89 wins, and Los Angeles Dodgers equals 89, so that means they'll stay on it because they're not going to go play them. You know what I mean?
But if they win, they'll go into the Dodgers on 73 losses, and both Milwaukee Brewers and Los Angeles Dodgers equal 73.
And then if you look at the Dodgers' wins right now, they have 106. And if they win their first game, it's going to be 107. It's going to equal Washington National.
Well, I agree with that. That is absolutely true. And if they win 3, they'll get to 109 like Los Angeles.
Yeah, and if you look at the Dodgers' losses, too, they have 56 losses right now.
Right.
And
So
Washington, D.C. equals 56.
this is true, and Nationals does have the 57 connection if they lost one. I was looking ahead at when it might make sense for the Dodgers to advance if they're going to win this first series. And
I don't think they're going to win. I think the Nationals are going to knock them off.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. I definitely do. I looked at their thing on MQ, and if you look at, what is it? I'm looking at it right now. Hold on a second. If you look at it, they're 4-6 against them right now, and they would play a, 5-game series? So it would be 70, 78, and doesn't 78 equal something big? I forget. Let me look it up right now. Hold on. I had it before. I didn't write it down. It's dummy. Yeah, I think they're going to take them. Oh, I know why again. Because, order out of chaos equals 78. And then I also found out that if you look at their records, the Dodgers against the Nationals, you'll notice that there's 130 wins for the Dodgers in against the Nationals right now at their home. And if they win, they're going to get that 131, and that's the championship to go to the national championship, the NL championship.
NLCS equals 78. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I'm seeing an all-CNI too. There's a 119 too, and then I'm looking at the away record, and it's telling me that the Nationals have 86 wins away. And if they get 2, that's 88, and that equals California. So they get 2 wins in California, beating the Dodgers.
What were you saying about NLCS in 78?
Well, I'm thinking the record's going to go 3-2. The Nationals are going to beat them in a 5-game series, and it's going to make 78. Makes order out of chaos. And then if you look at
they'd have to beat them. They'd have to beat them 4-1. They'd have to beat them 4-1 to go 7-8, right? Because they're 6-4 against them. So it wouldn't be a 5-game.
Yeah, so I'm thinking they're going to go. Yeah, they're going to be 89.
That's not going to make sense.
87.
They don't have to win 4 to. You only have to win 3 games to advance.
Yeah, so that's why I think it's going to be 8-7. It'll be Dodgers 8 wins, and the Nationals will have 7. Because they'll add the 3 to that one.
Oh, okay,
but if you look at that championship number, like if you look at the Nationals at home, there's a 130 there. So that tells me that the Dodgers are going to take one in Washington and make it the 131. You know what I mean? It's probably going to stay there. And then the Nationals are going to probably take 2 in LA to make the 88. So you can make California on your way.
The Dodgers haven't won the World Series since '88. It's a big number for them.
Yeah. And California's 88, so it's telling me they're going to win like 3-2, and then, then the Nationals are going to play the Cardinals in the championship. And they're going to have 100 wins if they lose to the Cardinals in, like, I think, what is that, get best of 7. They'll win 3 games, and they'll have 100 wins to make, like, the 100th season in the NFL. Like, usually, like, concludes to that, you know what I mean? Because usually they connect.
Okay, I see where you're going with that. Yeah, it's possible. So.
Yeah, and then if you look too, if the Cardinals beat them, they'll have a 57. They'll have 5 wins and 7 losses in that record. And then Washington Nationals is that equal 57?
Nationals is 57.
Yeah. So I'm looking at. Hold on one second. I'll tell you right now. Yeah. So it's 2-3 right now. The Nationals have 2 and the Cardinals have 3. If they win, they'll get 4. That will make the 7, and the other one will get 3, and and then also 75 connects to the Super Bowl also, and it also connects to the World Series. The 75 is World Series.
Okay, yeah, those are good observations. I'd say the best thing for Washington today is I just have noticed over the years in the postseason, the start times often do tell you which team's going to win because the game does start at 5:08 and Washington does equal 58.
That's nice. That's nice. You pointed that out, and that's been successful.
Yeah, it's this way season after season. So I have observed that. So I'd say that's the best riddle for Washington, but I still worry a little bit about the Council thing because it's 41 days after his birthday and his team can't improve to 41-41 away to go to LA, and then you'd get to me more of a narrative because that was the NLCS last year was the Dodgers and the Brewers.
Yeah, I wanted to point out something to you too. I think the Astros are going to end up winning the World Series because of George Bush death. Like a lot of things connects to him, and I'm noticing. Like I think basically I think they're going to play the Cardinals in the World Series. And if you look at the Astros, they have 107 wins right now. If you win the World Series, all your games, it's 11 games you have to win. That equals 118. And 118 equals George Herbert Walker Bush.
That is true. We documented a lot of Bush tributes. We documented a lot of Bush tributes this season with the Rangers and the Astros.
Oh yeah, and I can even I have a crazier stat too. If you go to NCubes right now and you look up Houston Astro in this series, if you check out against the Cards right now, I know when you get it, and I'll show you what I mean.
The Astros and Cards head-to-head? Right,
yeah, head-to-head series. Do you see it yet?
I'm pulling it up here.
Yeah.
All right, I'm almost there. Okay.
Take your time. Okay, you see that 338 wins for the Astros?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, if you add 4 to it, you get what? 342, right?
Okay.
All right, what's the reflection?
342, 243.
Yeah, that's the big number this year, 243.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you run it in reverse.
Yeah, and I also figured out something too with that. Why that 243 keeps showing up too. CIA, or Central Intelligence Agency, equals 243.
Yeah,
and that's what George Herbert Walker Bush used to be. He used to be the head of the CIA.
Right. Yeah, we talked about that. Again, 243 has the strong relationship with 54 through astrology. So that's the other thing we picked up on. And again, the U.S. is 243 years old. Yeah, the reflection's interesting. I wish it was 243 instead of 342, but the reflection is interesting. So.
Yeah, but if you also go to the next column and you look at the home wins or whatever, you see that 177? That equals New World Order.
Yeah.
And then if you add 3 wins to the 188, that's Society of Jesus.
Sure. Yeah.
And you know how a lot of games always equal Society of Jesus at the end of the game?
Sure.
Like it finishes on that?
Sure.
I actually have, if the Cardinals lose 4-2 in the championship, they're going to have 80 losses, and I think that equals the Society of Jesus and the Bavarian Illuminati for the 80 losses, and they'll stay on 100 wins. And I actually figured out what the 100 is, and you know why they keep pushing this, a black quarterback thing. I finally figured out what the 100 is. It's African American. That equals 100.
Huh. Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's why they're pushing the African American quarterback win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
It's on the 100, and African American equals 100.
That's a good point.
And then the 243 of it, what we talked about, connects to the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, plus the 243 equals Native American, and he plays for the Native American team, the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So that's why I'm going with that thing. So I'm actually thinking it's going to be the Astros win because of the tribute to Bush, because he used to own the team. And then I remember you showing me that video of Verlander hugging him before he died. And you got that 223 tribute, and he was part of the 223 group or the 322 group. So I'm thinking it's going to go that way. And I even looked at the line just on the betting thing, and their odds is negative 115 to win the 115th World Series.
The Astros are?
Yeah, they're minus 115 to win the World Series now. They're better than the Yankees now. And the Dodgers.
Interesting. So they're the hottest team in baseball. They are the hottest team.
No, yeah, they have all the pitching, they have everything. They have all the bats. They have it all. Right. Especially when they added, Zach Greinke?
Right.
To finish it off. I don't even know. Maybe we should even look up his birthday to the World Series. And I also noticed something too. There was I keep thinking the Chiefs are going to go to the Super Bowl. Well, I looked at the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is on 333 days,
and that equals Patrick Levon Mahomes the second, which equals 333.
What's 333 days? What was the 333?
The Super Bowl is 333 days.
It's the 33rd day of the year, leaving 332 days left.
332? Not 333?
Oh, it's a leap year next year, so I guess it would be. Yeah, you're right. You're actually right. It's a leap year next year. True.
Yeah, and it equals Patrick Mahomes.
His full name's 333?
And then I also noticed that one of the games, I think Game 6 is to one of the coaches equals 333 too. Also.
What's this other 333?
Game 6. I don't know if it's AJ Hitch or the other guy that he has a 333 on the Game 6, I think, or the Cardinals coach, I think. I gotta look it back up. I gotta tell you more about it. But yeah, I'm really feeling that Nats gonna win today, and I think they're gonna the Brewers are gonna stay in that 89 to make Los Angeles Dodgers, and then the 42, the DC. It just makes sense that goes there, and then the Dodgers would pick up their first win against the Nationals and get that 107, and they equal that. You know what I mean? That would make total sense.
It's possible. Yeah, the thing about St. Louis is they are the only city just using the alphabetic order that equals 115. You're the 115th World Series, so.
Yeah, and I think, and I'm gonna bet you there's gonna be like 3 or 4 teams that finish with 100 wins. Get knocked out. I think the Nationals are gonna lose on 100 wins, and I think the Cards are gonna lose with 100 wins, and they're gonna get both eliminated. And I think that 118 is gonna play the pot, and it's gonna equal that Bush for the championship.
It's very possible. If the Nationals do advance, the 4-1 riddle there is they're the 4 seed and LA is the 1, so you could get your 4-1 that way as well for LA. I gotta do more work on the AL wild card side, but again, if Tampa Bay does win, they're gonna get that 97th win of the season, and Athletics and Oakland Athletics are 97, and then they'd go on to play the Astros. It'd be the 5 seed versus the 1 seed, and Houston Astros is 51. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Rays are probably going to win that game. Yeah, that sounds solid right there.
I got to do more work on it, but that's just what jumps out on the surface. So.
All right, thank you.
All right, yeah, good work, man. See you.
Bye.
Okay, so yeah, I am not crazy about today's wild card game. Brewers would be the nicer payout, but I do worry about that start time. Almost every time the start time's like this, that points to one team. Again, Washington's 58, 5:08 start time. Usually that team takes it. But I don't like that it's 41 days after Council's birthday, and the Brewers can get to 41 and 41. So, and the caller at the beginning, I mean, see, I listened to people because he pointed out the 89 thing, but not the 73 thing. So I'm like, well, I'm not sure that he saw it all the way then if he was just focused on the 89, because Los Angeles Dodgers and Milwaukee Brewers both equal 73 in the most pure cipher. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of this wild card. Last year, both wild card games were just one-way reads, but I can't call this a one-way street. So, I am curious about the Nationals, though. That ritual they just got, the skull and bones thing, it was really interesting. That was a big ritual right there. So, yeah, I got to go back and do more work on the AL wild card game. I like that one a little bit better just because of how consistent 97's been with the Athletics. Again, Athletics is 97. Oakland Athletics is 97. We had them pegged to finish with 97 wins on the season against the Mariners, 97. And now Tampa Bay has a chance at that 97th win. And like I said, if Tampa Bay did beat Oakland, they'd go on to play the Houston Astros, 51 in the most pure cipher. And it'd be the 5 seed versus the 1 seed. So, yeah. All right, what I'm going to do is wrap it up there. Got a lot more decoding to do with football and the AL wild card tomorrow, plus working on those packets for hockey and basketball. So keep this one short and sweet. And we'll be back at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern to talk NFL Week 5. Let me check in with the chat before we say goodbye. Tracy, your comment's interesting too because in the years that I've been doing this, something that I never thought about before, but people have showed me a lot of interesting old photos. There's a lot of people that have spoken out and said that the real Native Americans of North America are black people. And I don't know what to think about that because out here in the Pacific Northwest, we still have quite a few Native American people. Seattle, there's a lot of reservations around. Discovery Park in Seattle is the only place in the U.S. where native land was taken and then actually given back to the natives. They have a cultural center there. And so, I mean, there are Native Americans that are not black people that look more like, the people from Mexico and South America, darker complected skin. But I have seen these old photos with, people who look like they're of African descent with the natives. I think that's interesting. So, yeah, calling it the year of the black QB, these riddles with the natives. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of history that's been lost. So, it is an interesting thought. Let's see. Yeah, Jose, we covered that one, how the Nats could get the 73rd win all time. Again, it's all here in the notes for those of you guys who weren't paying attention as we went over it. I'm going to post it again so you can look at it. It's already posted. But we'll wrap it up there. And if you want to take a stab at the wild card game, you're more than welcome to, of course. I just think it's a little bit tight because I see two things there that are strong on both sides. That start time, 5:08 p.m. Again, that's usually like the dead giveaway. But I just don't like that Council can become 41-41 away and advance to LA, who he played for in '99, 41 days after his birthday. So that's the one that gives me pause. Tampa Bay Rays is 43-52. I'm planning on doing the first hockey game tomorrow, yes. I'm trying to get the packet done so we have the cheat sheet for NHL. I'm not sure I'm going to get it finished tomorrow. I'm trying to. That's the goal, but I might be a few days late on it. So many things to keep up with. Los Angeles equals 37, the 12th prime. L plus A is 12 plus 1. So 12 plus 1 does not equal 12. 13. Come on, you guys. Come on. Use the code. We talk about LA and 12 a lot because Los Angeles is 37, the 12th prime. But L plus A is 12 plus 1. I know you can do that. So, okay. That is a good point, Thomas, about how wild card does equal 74. You're right about that. So they could pick up their 74th loss. And then that would go right in line with the 5:08 start time. Yeah, you are right about that. I'll plug that one in the notes. I should have had that written down. So we'll make a note right there. It's just if they stay on it, they go on to face the Dodgers with some serious LA numbers. Because that's the thing. If the Brewers do advance, they'll stay on 73 losses. Los Angeles Dodgers 73, Milwaukee Brewers 73, most Pierce Cipher. And then they'd be 41-41 away like LA's 41. And again, 41 days after Council's birthday. So anyway, I do think the game's dangerous. 5:08 p.m. start time. Just watch how they do this through the whole postseason. They'll start these games at these awkward times that sync up with the gematria of the teams. So, and I know from watching it over the years, it doesn't always mean that team wins, but more often than not, they do. So, all right, I will repost these notes at the top of the Patreon, and Yeah, anyhow. For the person who said I should be able to pick a clear winner on this game, you can only pick clear winners when there's clear reads. It's not always clear reads. And again, we've been doing this for a lot of years. I really do think that they've, I know that they've been paying attention to what we're doing. It's not an accident that you got guys like Colin Coward on TV every day going, these conspiracy theorists saying sports are rigged. There's no evidence for it. Oh, there's not? We've only documented it for 6 years straight. Anyway, the point is that I think they've learned to complicate the equations. So we'll leave it there. And, I think Thomas got wise words down there. So be back tonight, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern for the NFL Week 5 early decode. And then tomorrow we'll talk first hockey game, AL wild card, and so on and so forth. So we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Till next time.